In this video, we are going to talk about setting an access time to limit when students can take your exam. Once again, I'm at the My Southwest website and I'm logging in. If you're prompted, be sure to read this question carefully. In my case, it says, do you want to view only the web page content that was delivered securely? No, I wish to see it all. I look for the SLO icon. It says faculty underneath it. You will not have two of these icons. You'll have one. You simply click on it. I'm going to expand this browser window so that it's full screen. Once again, you will have at least the fall 2010 term. You'll go over to the section list, click on your sections. As you look through the listing of courses, you're going to click in the CRN column. I'm going to choose this first course, and notice I'm clicking on the CRN. Now, in this particular case, I see that I have a password set. I certainly do not have to have a password, and remember that I could simply select that and delete it. I'm going to do that just to eliminate any source of confusion. Okay, so I'm coming back into the CRN, and I've decided that I want to control my students' ability to begin the exam by setting a start date and an end date. So these dates have to be within the December 1st through December 15th dates that are set for the entire college. I can either type in the date, or you see that I have a calendar here. I'm going to pick the calendar. Now, I cannot set this in November because the exam is not available in November, so I'm going to choose December from the calendar. And I've decided that I'm going to give this exam on Monday, December the 6th. Okay, and you see this is the format that if I had chosen to type in the date that I would have typed it in. Now, I can simply set that, and then I could say, look, they're all going to take it in class, so I'm also going to set an end date. And I'm going to say that they are going to take it all on December the 6th. Now, I could save it at that point, and those would be the only settings, and my students could take the exam anytime on that date. But I want them, in my particular case, to take it while they're in class. And you'll notice that it says that this is the starting hour, and it's a 24-hour clock. So if my class begins in the afternoon, and maybe I'm going to give the students time to arrive, to get set up, that kind of thing, then maybe I'll type in 13 here, meaning that I want the students to begin at 1 o'clock. Maybe the students are not going to start until 1:30. Well, then I would 13:30 means this is when they can begin the exam. So I could save. And that could be the only setting. So you see this is very flexible, which means they could take it any time after 1:30. But I want to set this, with a little more control, and I want to say that the last beginning time would be 2 o'clock. And so remember, it's a 24-hour clock. And at 2 o'clock exactly, I would put 00. Now, this does not mean that the exam ends at 2 o'clock. It means that students cannot begin the exam after 2 o'clock. In other words, the students could only begin the exam on December 6th between 1:30 and 2 o'clock. Okay? They would have an hour and a half to take the exam regardless of when they begin. Okay, the system does not terminate the exam once it's in progress. It only, the start and end date and time only affect when the exam will begin. So I'm going to click on Save once again. Now, you'll notice that this exam does not have a password on it. The only controls that are in place are the starting date, ending date, starting hour and minute, ending hour and minute. If you want to add even an additional layer of security, then you could certainly So if I want to add a password, I can do that. It is not required. I have the ability to do that. Again, if I do, I just click Save. Now, let's say you change your mind for some other reason you wish to remove these settings. Just as was demonstrated in the password video, it's as simple as clicking in here and just deleting, and all I'm doing is deleting, and that would remove those dates and times. Okay, so that's completely your option, and again, that will control when your students begin. In terms of why you would want to do that, it might help to prevent false attempts, because remember, once your students begin the exam, that is it. So if they take the exam at home and claim to have computer problems, whatever the situation is, maybe they have a very poor connection and it did glitch on them. Well, if you set aside a time, for example, in your class, then you may be able to control that they are accessing it on a reliable internet connection. So that might be one reason that you would want to set some of these controls. Thanks.